Shabbat Shalom, inlanders.
Shabbat Shalom, friends. We're going to mute all and really begin to get ready for our Shabbat service. Praying together and being together.
Do they have links? Can we start?
So the link to the service will be in the chat in a moment.
Okay,
Thanks to Allison. There we go. Thanks, Allison.
Hey, while you're all sitting around, turn to page 643. It'll make things a little easier for you. Rabbi, tell me when a good time is to begin getting into Sabbath mode.
Yep, let's do.
Let's do it. 643. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. It probably doesn't look this way on others, but right now I have Hannah and Ethan, our beautiful percussionist, clarinet player, our violinist. We're going to be back together soon, but having you right beneath my square makes me feel, I don't know, like we're making music together with our hearts. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Something that I love about Shabbat is just being able to be together and then be in each other's homes just by being able to be here now. And it calls to mind this teaching in the Talmud about this angel, an angel for good and an angel for bad. And that there is an angel on each one of our shoulders as we go toward Shabbat. And that if we have this table all set up for a beautiful Shabbat dinner, and we have the tablecloth just so, and the candles over here, and we're all ready. Well, that the angel of good says, may this be so next Shabbat. And that the other angel that's not so great has to acquiesce and say, yes, may it be so. And that if there's a messy table and nobody's thought about all the things that they need to be grab for Shabbat and all of that, that the not so great angel says, may it be so next week, and that good angel has to acquiesce and say, yes, may it be so. And I remember hearing this story all the time, and I have to say, not my favorite story. Because I feel like whenever it is that we have just a little window where we're able to say, you know what, the rest of my place, but this little tiny window that you have, you can see the kind of Shabbat I want to bring in. May it be so. And if we feel like, gosh, you know what, even behind me right now, it's pretty messy, but here we are together in community, may it be so. May we find that we can bring our whole selves, and that feels like the way we want to bring in a beautiful Shabbat. We don't have to look externally for how it is that we center ourselves. How are we centering ourselves internally? And that's what this time of counting the Omer is all about. It's how do we create a way in which we can direct ourselves to be able to make sure that our days count moving forward. And so as we gather on Shabbat, we are about to gather in this way of shifting ourselves from a place of judgment to a place of being able to find inner foundation. So, my question to you tonight is, what's one way that you hope to be able to center yourself on this Shabbat? If you could center yourself on one thing, what would that be for this Shabbat? What do you want to bring in on this Shabbat? I'm going to start off and I'm going to put in the chat, I want to bring in joy. And anybody just can fill these with what's our intention for this Shabbat? Oh, I love that. Gratitude. I see some family members here. Beauty, calm. I just love that we can bring in hope and peace and health and happiness, kindness and good memories, and of course, song. And so as we bring in this Shabbat as a community, may we see that we are loved, accepted, building a foundation of Shabbat by being able to be together in community. What a reason to celebrate, and what a way to bring in Shabbat with joy, with peace, with love, and with light. And with that, I invite all of us to either in our hearts or maybe even with some Shabbat candles to bring in the light of Shabbat. The blessing can be found on page 120.
Candles at home or just lighting from within. Let's take our hands and then close our eyes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And I love that we sanctify this time with the fruit of the vine. We'll be led in our Kiddush, in our Kiddush by David and Beth Inlander. It's on page 123. I'll just remind us that we can find the transcriptions for tonight's service. You can do that by hitting live transcript here to be able to see. I would say don't trust how they do the Hebrew. It doesn't quite work so well, although there are some pretty majestic and a lot of funny moments by looking at those. And also, I'll say that we always say that we rise in spirit because we want to be able to embody in any way we choose to, the way we want to lift our spirits. And so some of us rise and some of us rise in spirit as we remain seated. But now we rise in spirit, page 123. David and Beth, please lead us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Parei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvoto v'ratzavanu Shabbat kosher v'hadav ratzon inchilanu Zikaron Lamasei Bereshi Kilu Yom Tehillah L'Mikra Kodesh Zecher L'Tziat Mitzrayim Ivanu Vakata Yotanu Kidashta Mikolamim Shabbat Kosher Yahava Uratzon Inchautanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh Hashapat. Amen.
Amen. David and Beth, you're a blessing to us. Thank you so much.
And I'll say you are such a blessing to us that that Coco wanted to be part of that as well. So thank you for engaging her too. And so as we continue our service now, Cantor, will you let us know where we'll
Yeah.
turn?
We are welcoming in the Sabbath Bride on page 138 and 139. Please join me with verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat Kabbalah. Shamor v'zachor v'ribor echad Hishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad Shemu tiferet litila lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat Kabbalah. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orech kumi ori. Uri, uri, shir daberi, kavod Adonai, alayach nigla. Here's the beauty of prayer. I get to do whatever I want. And I decide that we go back to verse 2. Because I didn't do it. Likrat Shabbat l'chu v'necha ki mekor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh v'machashav v'techila lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat Kabbalah. Now we rise. We really, really welcome Shabbat. We give the Sabbath our full attention. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'zola toch emunei hamsegula boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat Kabbalah. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat Kabbalah.
Cantor, I love how you bring in these newer melodies and then we do them often enough that they become part of the fabric of our soul, part of what feels like home when we sing them. So thank you so much.
You. I like it if you don't even feel that it's happening. It just happens.
Page 146, Baruch Hu.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. In spirit or in body. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Met. We are on page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before when we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place and a promised land. The winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. There is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. On page 158 for Micha Mocha.
Micha Mocha, Mailim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Neda Bakodesh. All right, this is when we get to show each other that we're with each other. So do whatever you want to repeat with me. You can use your hands, your mouth, anything. Nora Tehilot, Osei Fele, Nora Tehilot, Osei Fele, Malchutecha Ra'u Anecha, Bokeh Hayam Lifnei Moshe uMiriam. Eli Anu Ve'ameru Adonai Imlo Leolam Va'ed.
For Hashki Venu, we ask God to spread a shelter of peace over us. And that language kind of reminds me of a parent tucking their child in at night and kind of putting on the blanket and making them feel really comforted and protected. So I think when we're praying, we're asking for that from God. We're asking for that feeling of safety and protection and intimacy and love. So we turn to page 160 for Hashki Venu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim, lechaim. May you shelter us in peace until the morning comes. May you lay us down with love, and may you rise us up. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim, lechaim.
Spirit and turn to page 164 for our Amidah prayer.
Adonai, sifatai tiftachu fi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanora, El Elyon, Komel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע. And we're in summer. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע ונאמנת על החיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Take a moment for silence to hear our hearts beat, to smell the smells around us, listen to the sounds, and just try to be as present as we can with ourselves in this moment. When you can stay standing or be seated, as is your choice.
Oh, say shalom, b'imroma. Oh, say shalom, b'imroma. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu. makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Romam, Huyase Shalom. Huyase Shalom. Huyase Shalom. Alleluia. One more time. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down.
Take a moment now to pray for the people we love, the people we know who could use healing, who are having a hard week, a hard month, a hard year. People who we know we want to help them so badly, but all we can do is send them our love. So if there's someone who you're thinking of, who'd like to share their name out loud or in the chat, please feel free to do so now.
Anybody? Yeah.
Kathy Dorothy, Wally Windsor,
Howard Nagelberg, Mike Giannini, Gail Rothner.
Johnny Tepper, Linda Kraft, Lori Dietz.
Luba Kotarasevsky, Carlos Tabares.
Barbara
Charlotte
Miller.
Walsh,
Lynn Miller.
David Schaub, Susie Schaub, Julie Lega.
Laura Oshner.
Howard Siegel, Andrew Siegel, Laura McGrew.
Joan Lipsick is Tracy Lipsick Kite. Maybe your other daughter's having a problem.
She said Joan Lipsick.
Vicky Hodges, Phyllis Valeri.
Roz Moss from Israel.
Oops.
Yeah, to those names, Gary Schroeder, Don Sable, Jim Clemens, Barb Sussman, Ella Wexler, Judy Statzinger, Jan Stern, Brian Britton and Kathy Hatter, Ruth Cohen, Rami Jackie,
You want to say
Sarah
no?
Griffith,
Good.
Jonathan Spitz, Elaine Baddock, Stan Gross, Big Dorfman Michaels, Denise Morris, Malu Rose, Kylie Grant, James Amick, Dimitri Levine, Amnon Ben Sarah, Cecil, Jonathan and Courtney Steer, Ari Mincer, Bob Peffers, Steve Sawalski, Cooper Sartell, Jerry Scanzano, Tracy Lipsig Kite, Cecil Scruggs, Jude Cunningham, Karen Cohen, Sam Jacobson, Judy Arkin, Flo Bernberg, Doug, Elaine Parks, Foth, Donna, and Millie. We send them all prayers of healing with Misha Berach on page 371.
Misha Berach Avotenu Makor Habracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Beirach Imotenu Makor Hamracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Amen. Now, Rabbi Conover, the way that you began our service, asking people to offer an intention about how they are going into this service, I absolutely loved. And then there are times, like in yoga or sometimes like on an exercise program, like on a Peloton, that they ask me to set an intention, and I cannot get it. This is not a skill that I have about setting an intention for these times. And when I had a semi-regular yoga practice, I kind of stared blankly at the instructor when they asked me to set an intention, because I was thinking like, my intention's to do yoga. Those first seconds and the last minutes of Shavasana, laying quietly, my least favorite parts of yoga. And Rabbi Conover is over here smiling because I know that you are a yoga fan, and I'm sure you love those moments. I can't. I don't know. My mind's racing too much or too little. I don't even know. Surely I could work on these areas, but I wasn't there to. I was there to do yoga. I wanted to work on my body, and that was my intention. This reminds me of one of my favorite scenes in a show called Parks and Recreation, in which the tough and brawny Ron Swanson is dragged to a meditation studio. He is completely uninterested and skeptical about meditation. In reflecting, he says, all told, we were in there for about 6 hours, and no, I was not meditating. I just stood there quietly, breathing. There were no thoughts in my head whatsoever. My mind was blank. I don't know what the hell these other crackpots were doing. I love that Ron Swanson in this episode is so oblivious to the goal of meditation that he did exactly the thing that everyone else was working so hard to do. And it's amazing to me. I'm not one for meditation, or apparently setting an intention for my yoga practice, but setting an intention for services, that I'm all about. And I know that there are many out there for whom this is deeply important and helpful, and I absolutely love that. I'm not here to yuck your yum, but just saying maybe it isn't for me, or maybe I just don't do it well. And because of my agnostic stance towards meditation and setting intentions, I was intrigued this year at my own excitement for the intention of the day, the thought exercises that we do as part of counting the Omer. So we read in Leviticus 23, which we'll read in a few weeks, you shall count from the eve of the second day of Pesach, when an Omer of grain is to be brought as an offering for 7 complete weeks. So back when the temple stood in Jerusalem, we would make grain offerings in the weight of 1 Omer. But since then, we instead count each day. We count 49 days from Passover to Shavuot, commemorating the reception of Torah at Sinai. As Rabbi Jane Littman writes, in mythic terms, it is the time of the journey between the exodus from Mitzrayim, the liberation from slavery and constriction, to Sinai, the revelation of Torah. The weeks are anticipatory, both of the harvest of the field and the harvest of the soul. Well, like I in yoga, you might be asking, what's the intention here? What do you mean harvest of the soul? It's just counting days. Like it's just doing exercise. Just today's day 1, day 2. But alas, as one might expect, Judaism provides the framework for deeper meaning. The Kabbalists, those who focused on the mystic aspects of Judaism, determined that we can reach 7 sefirot, or emanations from God, these sacred attributes that connect the physical and transcendent spheres of existence. These 7 attainable Sefirot are Chesed, loving kindness, Gevurah, courage or judgment, Tiferet, harmony, Netzach, triumph or achievement, Hod, glory, Yesod, foundation, and Malchut, sovereignty. Now with 49 days of the Omer, the 4th graders in my wife's class studying multiplication could tell you that this makes a perfect 7 by 7 weeks, or 7 days, 7 weeks. Thus, the Kabbalists associated each week and each day with one of those 7 Sefirot. So, I want to show you what this looks like in practice. Now, I'm going to show you a table here, which kind of looks a little bit trippy, but you'll get it. So, all these colors actually mean something, and mean something beautiful. So, what do we see here in this incredible thing going on here? What we see is each column is 1 week. So each of those big colors going down is 1 week. So we have 7 of those. And each row across is the first day of that week, the second day of the week, the third day of the week, and so on. So where are we today? So day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're in the second week. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yesterday was Yom HaShoah. And here we are today. Now, there's like a puzzle here. It's like a game every day. So we're in this blue week of Gevurah, of justice, awe, discipline, and courage. But in the middle of that blue circle is red, telling us that we're in the 6th day. And when we look at the red, we see we're in Yesod. So we take what is inside of what is outside, the day of the week. So today is foundation of justice. So we have the middle of the outside, foundation of justice. Yesterday was orange within blue, so it was humility of justice. So we spent this whole week on justice. Next week, we'll spend a whole week on beauty and harmony. So this really got me thinking. You know, I found this intention of setting each day with this beautiful intention as a beautiful, beautiful thing. So today, being the foundation of justice, we have this thought that leads us. Now, every year I've been drawn to these, but not as much as this year. And so how I'm going to think about this and take this foundation of justice, I have to take it in the next 24 hours from this sundown to next sundown. As I've only got 24 hours to focus on this, because tomorrow, at the end of Havdalah, it's going to be more the leadership of justice that we focus on. And then Saturday night, we go into the week of harmony, and we embrace the kindness of harmony. Every single day has a different attribute for us to think about. So today, the foundation of justice. This kind of makes me put on my Sholom Justice Kippah and think about this foundation of the justice we do in our world. Why do we do justice? Of course, we go to that famous line from Torah, tzedek, tzedek, tirdof, justice, justice shall you pursue. But I don't know. That's great. I'm told to do justice. And I want to do it because I'm told. But I also want to know why I'm doing it. What's the intention for this intention I have? For me, the intention of all that we do to bring justice into the world is encompassed into one of my favorite quotes by the philosopher Martin Buber. He writes, "The true meaning of love one's neighbor is not that it is a command from God which we are to fulfill, but that it is through it and in it we meet God. Not a command that we are to fulfill, but it is through it and in it that we meet God. My foundation of justice is by feeding the hungry, writing my representatives, organizing for good. That's how I get to experience God's holiness in this world. And now that I've defined it for myself, now I have to actually go and do it. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not next week. This is the intention for today. In this time of pandemic, every day in this Omer time is actually incredibly different. We have different tasks to do. My to-do list tells me every single day what I need to accomplish on that day. And I have this mystical, very brightly colored to-do list that gives me a goal for each day, a goal to strive for every single day of the Omer. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And so, Rabbi Gelman, that was so beautiful. May
Thank
I lead us now into our Omer blessing?
Please. You have the page for us.
I do. Page 570, everyone. We are on th day. Here we go. הנני מוכן ומזומן, הנני מוכן ומזומן, לקיים מצוות עשה של ספירת, מצוות עשה של ספירת, האומר, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר היום 13 יום שהם שבוע אחד ו6 ימים לעומר.
Today we count the Omer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who commands us to count the Omer. And today is the 13th day, which is, as we just saw, the 1 week and 6 days of the Omer. Mazel tov, we all did a mitzvah. And there are so many other ways that we can gather this week to gather together and do good things in our week.
That is true, and it's very exciting. So why don't we just start it off? Rabbi Singer, would you begin?
Yes. So, given that we're thinking about the foundation of justice, I wanted to invite people to join us in a conversation with Sholem, our Embracing Racial and Ethnic Diversity group, this Monday. We're going to be talking about a topic that has been really controversial in the last year and years, and that is on policing and public safety. And we're going to try to talk about it in a way that really honors all of the people in the room, and that hopefully, you know, people will be able to converse about it with love and respect, and it's important to us to provide that. So if you hear that idea and think like, oh God, I definitely don't want to do that, you're still welcome to come. It's gonna be a loving place, a loving conversation. And we are also counting the Omer weekly, as Rabbi Gelman has inspired us to do in our Kaddish de Rabbanan sessions at 3 p.m., I think Monday through Friday, where we each bring a different topic and discuss for about 30 minutes. So you're welcome to join us with that. And we're very excited to say that we are, I don't remember the exact name of it, but we are essentially we're community partners with some various government institutions who are using us to help proliferate information about vaccines that are available now that so many people are eligible in Illinois. So we do have a new section on our website. If you go to sholomchicago.org, you'll see right there on the front page that it says click here to find information about vaccines, and we'll be updating it with places where people can find vaccinations. And so that if you're looking for a centralized place, this is one place to register. This is one place you can check. And then finally on Thursday, we are going to be doing a Yom Ha'atzmaut celebration with the IMPJ. And I'll transfer it to Rabbi Conover if you want to say anything more about that.
Sure. So the Israel Movement for Progressive Judaism, that is the reform arm of Judaism in Israel. So Yom Ha'atzmaut is the Independence Day, or day of being able to celebrate Israel's birth as a modern state of Israel. And we'll be hearing many different narratives, many different stories. And at 11 o'clock on Thursday, we'll be able to join in a beautiful tekes, or a beautiful ceremony with the reform movement in Israel, and it should be phenomenal. So come one, come all. It's easy to be able to sign up. You do need to register in order to get the link, but very easy to do so, and I hope that we'll do so as a whole congregation. And I'll say that on this Shabbat, so tomorrow on Saturday, we have Mindful Jewish Aging with Cantor Katzman, and that's going to be at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And so hopefully, we're going to have a special guest, and that's going to be with Rabbi Rena Singer. So it's going to be very exciting tomorrow. We can hardly wait. And again, that's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And you can go onto our website to find the link. We also have a guest scholar this Sunday at 9:30 a.m. We have a guest scholar who is going to talk with us about Morocco's Jews, an intimate view of Jewish life in a Muslim land, with Dr. Roy Middleman. He is fantastic, and the stories and also the pictures he's going to share are going to really inform us wonderfully. So we can hardly wait for that. Again, this Sunday at 9:30 with Dr. Middleman.
Rabbi Conover, I think that this coming Sunday may be the most exciting we've ever had at Temple Sholom. The day just begins and it keeps getting better. So we have our guest scholar at 9:30 a.m. And then at 11 a.m., I'm teaching a course over a period, I think, of 4 or 5 weeks, Prayer and Worship 101. And I'm really this time, because I haven't done it in this chunk of time in a while, that I'm going to really start from the beginning of Shabbat, going through the prayer book. We'll look at Mishkan Tefillah. We're familiarizing ourselves with it, getting to know the prayers a bit. I think it makes our time together here even more meaningful. So join me at 11 o'clock on Zoom for that. And then as well, 1:30, the 3rd through 5th graders are going to be making their way over to the Lincoln Park Zoo. They're meeting at Stockton and Webster. They have to wear masks. There'll be some perfect protocols for COVID, but they're going to have fun. They're going to have a blast. So that's going to be happening at 1:30. And then, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, it's our turn. Trivia night. And I love the way this is described. Backed by popular demand, talks about playing trivia a little bit, and then it says, stay on after the game to gloat and socialize with the group.
That sounds like trivia night. That sounds like trivia
night. I got to tell you, I love you, IoT. I just do. That's at 5 o'clock on Sunday.
Nice. And jumping ahead in our week, if when you have recovered from the excitement of Sunday and the great discussion with Shalem on Monday night, especially on Wednesday, I am starting the first of a 3-part session called Thoughts on God with Rabbi Gelman. We're going to engage with Jewish philosophers and theologians to answer the question, what is God to me? We had a session, a 4-part session in the fall, going over our own personal beliefs. And now we're going to look at other philosophers and theologians to bring some other thoughts into our conversation. You can register online as well for that. It's going to be fantastic. And finally, on the next Friday at 5:30, whether you are a family with children under 5, or you just have a heart that flutters when you get to sing the songs, or however it is for you, at 5:30 next Friday, we have a special Yom HaAtzmaut, Tat Shabbat, celebrating Israel Independence Day. And that's going to be led by these people here, plus Jay Rappaport. So we're so excited about that. And you can find all of that at the link in the chat that Allison Barker put in our chat here on Zoom, and which I am adding to the chat for all of you over at Facebook. So thank you, Allison. So we are going to turn back in our prayer books to page 586 for the words of Aleinu L'Shabeach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our tradition gives us this time to recall family members, friends, loved ones. And we insert their names here to say, I have not forgotten you. It is your blessing that still lives within me as I bring your blessing into the world. Today, our Temple Sholom community is thinking about those who have passed away in the last month, known as Shloshim, Donald Martin, Suzanne Cohn, Rochelle Baddock, Bert Kendall, Gerald Bayer, Rabbi Robert J. Marks, Jaime Phillips, and Morris Chat. And those whose yard sites are observed in this week now ending, Dora Arnav, Edward Arvey, Judy Baskin, Max Borden, Edward Cohen, Riva Cohen, Lillian Confino, Fred Deutsch, Beatrice Grossfeld Durst, Joan Elegant, Oscar Fettman, Ann S. Fisher, Harry Frankel, Martin First, Yael Galperin, William Goldberg, Sherry Chemical Goodman, Marlene Hecker, Norma W. Inlander, Sonia Katzman, Marcine Coman, Dr. Joseph Lane, Benito Leon, Golda Levin, Judah Lichtenstein, Edward Lippman, Marianne Littenken, Maria Mathias, Ira Penn, Chester Rachinsky, Sally Rosen, Jesus Ruiz, Irving Sapkin, Elsie Schless, Kate Schall-Levitt, Bess Soberoff, William Stacks, Evelyn Stoll, Andrea Gwen Stone, Sherman Tucker, Bernice Bunny Wallace, Dr. Leonard Weinstein, and Beverly Whipson. And we add to those names those that we are thinking of that we can say aloud or add to the chat.
Rebecca Luker,
Lige Flutter.
And we add to those names Edwin Michaels, Howard Vihan, Sandra Goinshore, Lonnie Weinberg, Andre Nickerson, Michael Cooper, John M. Griffith, and Victor Page. And for them and because of them, we together recite Kaddish Yatom in their honor and in their memory.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash
Shemei Rabbah,
Alma divrei malchutei. Is there? I'm going to start it again. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei. V'chayachon uvyomachon v'chaye dochol beit Yisrael v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yituram v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Yehi shlam Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom imromav huyaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav huyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. Amen. Amen.
And we are going to conclude our service with a classic, as we're talking about going from Egypt to Sinai. It was at Sinai where I believe we got this prayer and this tune. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Miriam
good.
danced to this.
We're on page 626 for Ein Keloheinu.
Some of you may know this. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Micheloheinu, Michadonenu, Michemalkeinu, Michemoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Emalkeinu, Nodel Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
May we go into each of these 49 days setting an intention that betters the world and betters ourselves. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hello.
Thank you, Rabbi Gelman, so much.